Welcome, y'all. In this episode, you will learn the best meditation to practice before bed to help you let go of the stress of the day and to set yourself up for a great night's sleep. Welcome. You are listening to Our Mindful Nature, a podcast helping healers and those searching for healing respond to burnout, overwhelm, and depression with nature-based meditations for better mental health. I'm your host and meditation teacher, Meryl Arnett. If you would like to access these meditations as standalone audio files for your daily use, please subscribe to my newsletter at merylarnett.com. It's free and you get a new mini meditation each week. All right, y'all, grab your headphones, get a cup of tea, and find a comfy seat. Today's meditation class is all about offering practical tools for daily stress management, empowerment over your thoughts, and cultivating a peaceful evening routine. As always, this class is recorded from my live Monday night meditation class, so you get a real life class experience. Let's join in. Welcome, everyone. Glad to see you all. Um, so we are progressing right through our series on weaving mindfulness through the day, right? Finding that thread that we can stay connected to, even if our day starts very, very early in the morning and maybe we get a little practice in. We talked about how to set up that morning practice as a gifts and gratitude acknowledgement to sort of set the tone for the day. And then we thought about, hitting around the midday lunchtime, just hitting pause long enough to do a nervous system reset so that we're able to sort of rebalance, recenter, reconnect to whatever our intention for the day was or is, and stay connected to it through the late afternoon and into the evening, which is where we find ourselves with this class, is the evening practice. And now I know that, there are night owls and morning people. I am definitely a morning person, not a night owl. I'm like ready for bed at 4 p.m. And evening is not great for me. Like, this is the time of day when the fatigue really hits me. Like, everything that has happened for the day hits me. The amount of work that has yet to be done hits me. And I feel this very unpleasant combination of total exhaustion and stress or anxiety. And they don't play well together, those two things, do they? And so I was thinking that we would look at a practice that helps us clear some of the energy of the day, a practice that helps us to let go maybe of any anxiety that might be coming for tomorrow, and a practice that sets us up for a good night's sleep. Yeah. And so this practice, I'm thinking, can be done really anytime you want. You could use this as a transition from, if you go to work or you go to school, perhaps, and then you're stepping into whatever home looks like for you. You could use this as a transition from that, whatever your daytime life is and your evening life is. You could use this practice as the transition. You can also use it as the transition from waking hours to sleep hours. So right before you go to sleep, this practice comes in handy. And as I was sitting down to put my thoughts together for tonight's class, I was remembering perhaps one of my favorite paragraphs ever written. I mean, that's a bold statement. So I'll put a question mark next to that, but a favorite paragraph, I can say that. And it is in a book called The Soul of Money by Lynne Twist. And some of you will have heard me because I have read this many times. It just rings so true. And really, what she's writing about is the reverie of lack. And when I read it, what I think is this is what's running through our minds as we're getting ready for bed. So I just want to share a bit of this with you. Again, this is from The Soul of Money by Lynne Twist. For me and for many of us, our first waking thought of the day is, I didn't get enough sleep. The next one is, I don't have enough time. Whether true or not, that thought of not enough occurs to us automatically before we even think to question or examine it. We spend most of the hours and the days of our lives hearing, explaining, complaining, or worrying about what we don't have enough of. We don't have enough exercise. We don't have enough work. We don't have enough profits. We don't have enough power. We don't have enough wildness. We don't have enough weekends. Of course, we don't have enough money, ever. We're not thin enough. We're not smart enough. We're not pretty enough or fit enough or educated or successful enough. Before we even sit up in bed, before our feet touch the floor, we're already inadequate, already behind, already losing, already lacking something. And by the time we go to bed at night, our mind races with a litany of what we didn't get or didn't get done that day. We go to sleep burdened by those thoughts and wake up to the reverie of lack. And my invitation for us with this class and this practice is to catch it when we find ourselves in that reverie of lack and to build the skill to let it go so that it doesn't haunt our dreams and it isn't the first thing we think of when we wake up in the morning. What I want for each of us is to tap in to the truth that we are each the boss of our own brains, right? You are the boss of your brain. You get to decide what you want to think or not think. I have this very vivid memory early, very long ago at this point, and I was leaving my corporate job to go out on my own as a full-time yoga slash meditation teacher. And I was terrified, terrified. And I was worried that what if I didn't plan right? And what was going to happen with money? And was I going to be able to pay my bills? And I was seeing a therapist at the time. And she said, I hear you. Those are very real things to worry about. And my suggestion is, why don't you put in your calendar on a specific day and time every week that this is your 1 hour to worry about that. And in that hour, Tuesday at 2 p.m., let's say, you can worry about all of those things. And the rest of the time, when you catch yourself worrying about that, you say to yourself, this is not my time to do that. I have time. I can worry about it. That's fine. But I'm not going to do it right now. That is being the boss of your brain. And this practice, my hope is that it is an invitation for you to reclaim that for yourself as well. So, in this practice, we'll be letting go of everything that has happened today, everything that is lurking in your mind, all the things that you're mad about or worried about or frustrated about, all the things you're worrying about for later that you didn't get done that you need to get done. And it's not to say that you have to let it go forever. It's not to say that you can't worry about these things or that you shouldn't worry about these things. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is right now, right before you climb into bed and turn the lights out, this is not the time to do that. This is the time to let that go, to relieve some of the stress that we carry in our body day after day after day, so that we can rest, so that we can reconnect to ourselves, to each other, to the planet. And when we wake up, it's not to that reverie of lack. Our first thought hopefully won't be, I didn't get enough sleep. And then we start the cycle again. We start the morning practice, gifts, gratitude. We reset the nervous system at lunch and we let go at dinner. And in this way, we start to build this mindful thread that is just woven through our days. And it doesn't mean we don't get pulled off center. Doesn't mean we don't have bad days. Doesn't mean we don't struggle or lose our patience or our temper, but my hope is, my belief is that we come back to center faster, that we repair better because we're so tied into our practice. Yeah. So we're going to do a practice this evening, and I want you to think about, how am I using this practice? Right? Am I using this practice right before bed? Am I using it as a transition from day into evening? And you might set yourself up in the way that feels most supportive for that. So you might find yourself propped up in bed with a couple pillows and a blanket. Maybe you're seated in the car before you walk in the house after work. Maybe you're in your favorite chair. Maybe you're in the one quiet corner you can find, right? Wherever you find yourself, take a moment to let yourself land there. Settle into a seat that feels comfortable for you. Take all the time you need. When you feel ready, you might let your eyes close. You're always welcome to keep them open. Let your arms relax, your jaw relax. And we'll just invite in some evening sounds as we settle into this practice. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling out a sigh. And we'll do that again, inhaling deeply, exhaling out a sigh, and then allowing your breath to flow. And silently saying to yourself, now is my time to meditate. Now is my time to meditate. And as you say those words, I want you just to, as best you can, imagine yourself letting go of any gripping in your body. From the center of the body out in all directions, a sense of letting go. You might feel or imagine that you're able to sit down or lie down a little bit more. That you can let go through your legs or your hips. You can let go across your belly, your back. Softening your chest and your shoulders. Relaxing along your jaw. The inside of the cheeks and the tongue. Softening the skin around the eyes. And creating some space across your forehead. And taking a moment now simply to feel your body breathing. Forcing anything, without needing to change anything. You're simply noticing the body breathing in the body breathing out. Without exaggerating, see if you can follow your next inhale as far into the body as you can. And follow your next exhale as far out into the room as you can. Letting yourself just melt into the rhythm of that breath. And in your mind's eye, as you breathe in, you feel that breath traveling into the body, wrapping around some singular moment of your day. And as you exhale, your breath carries that moment out of the body and releases it back into the universe. And we'll just stay with this imagery, drawing the breath in and letting it wrap around a thought, a worry, conversation, an email. And the exhale pulls that experience up and out of the body, releasing it to the universe. Let our attention rest on the breath. And we allow the breath to do all the heavy lifting, all the letting go of our day. That every breath leaves us a little lighter, a little clearer, and a little more connected. Stay here 10 minutes in silence. And if you find yourself getting lost in thoughts, in worries, in the reverie of lack, just come back to the breath. Drawing the inhale in, letting it wrap around that worry. And letting the exhale float that worry back out into the universe. Sit here in silence a few minutes. Gently feeling your breath. The inhale, gathering up any remaining bits of your day. The exhale, releasing it fully. And taking a moment to simply feel yourself right here in the transition. The day has been released. The evening has yet to begin. And you have this moment of clarity, this moment of connection to yourself, to your intentions, to the planet. And feeling the evening unroll ahead of you with as much ease as possible. With as little effort as possible. Deepen your breath. And maybe very gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. If you wanted to use this practice to go to sleep, you could simply let the practice end and go to sleep. And if you're using it as a transition, you might straighten up a bit. And you might take a deep breath in, release a little sigh, and take all the time you need to let go of the practice and to open your eyes once again. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me. I am always so glad to share practice with you. I hope you go to sleep tonight feeling like you took away some practical tools for stress management, a sense of empowerment over your thoughts, and most importantly, a peaceful evening routine that sets you up for a great night's sleep. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to Our Mindful Nature. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider sharing it with a friend or leaving me a review wherever you get your podcasts. It helps others to find the show, and let's face it, we could all use a few more meditators in our lives. Our Mindful Nature is recorded on Muskogee land and produced with the support of Brianna Nielsen. Deep gratitude is offered to acoustic ecologists Gordon Hempton and Nick McMahon for the use of their nature field recordings in many of these episodes. To join my live classes, ask questions, or learn about my teacher trainings, please visit merylarnett.com. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next week.